So, you walked through the regular hopper and had your first look at the Arbitrage dashboard. Perfect. Let's configure your Arbitrage bot. In this video, you will learn about the difference between exchange arbitrage and market arbitrage, what to look for in an arbitrage exchange, and each individual config option in the Arbitrage config. We reviewed exchange arbitrage and market arbitrage in our last video, but let's recap one more time. Exchange arbitrage is just buying a coin on an exchange for one price and selling the coin on another exchange for a higher price. The difference in pricing between the two exchanges is called market inefficiency. Because many exchanges only process withdrawals once or twice a day, it is not feasible to constantly send funds back and forth. Because of this, Cryptohopper doesn't send funds between exchanges. Instead, users of our exchange arbitrage feature will have a small backlog of coins on both exchanges. This way, you will always have enough coins to buy and sell to take advantage of the market inefficiency. It is highly recommended to balance out your portfolio every now and then. Market arbitrage, on the other hand, is trading between different markets on the same exchange, also known as triangular arbitrage. Market arbitrage is quite a complex calculation. Here's an example of how such a trade would happen. Trade 1. Bitcoin to BNB. BNB is purchased using Bitcoin. Trade 2. BNB to ETH. ETH is purchased using BNB. Trade 3. ETH to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is purchased using ETH. As you can see from the example, you do 3 trades, but end up with the same coin. If the market inefficiency is good, this triangle of trades would actually net you profit. Remember to take exchange fees into account and make sure you configure them well in your hopper. So to recap, exchange arbitrage takes advantage of market inefficiency across exchanges, while market arbitrage takes advantage of market inefficiency across multiple trading pairs on the same exchange. What to look for in an arbitrage exchange? When setting up an arbitrage exchange, ideally you want to have an exchange with the lowest fees possible. Binance, for example, works really well if you enable their Use BNB to pay for fees option. Compare this to another exchange that has more regular fees without such a system in place, and you can see why trading on tiny profits is easier on the cheaper exchange. This is especially important on market arbitrage, since you are trading 3 times, and you will need to pay a fee 3 times. So you need to pick an affordable option, otherwise arbitrage opportunities are few and far between. If you are doing exchange arbitrage, you only need to do 2 trades. So picking an exchange with a slightly higher fee isn't the end of the world, but it's still recommended to pick a cheap exchange. In addition to fees, you will also need to take volume into account. By volume, we mean the amount of trades done daily. The exchange may have low fees and plenty of arbitrage opportunities, but if there is no volume, your orders won't be fulfilled, and you'll be stuck in an unprofitable arbitrage. Not a good place to be. Once you have your fee and your volume settled, it's time to really configure the hopper. So let's get straight into it. In the basic settings, you can give the hopper a name and dictate how long a buy or sell order should stay open in minutes. The longer you set this order time, the longer Cryptohopper will keep a position open, which means it will have more time to be filled. This is handy in less volatile markets. Normally, you configure a single exchange for your hopper. In an arbitrage hopper, you can have multiple exchanges. Fill in your API keys for each individual exchange here, and make sure to fill in the fees for your exchanges too. This will help Cryptohopper to get an accurate profitability reading, so it's highly recommended to fill this in correctly. Make sure to check your exchange for up-to-date fees. Notifications are self-explanatory. Cryptohopper will send you a message whenever something happens with your hopper, such as a trade error, or a cancelled order. Now let's get into the meat of things, the arbitrage settings. First up, the percentage sell amount. It dictates what percentage of your funds the hopper uses to spend per trade. If you have 1000 USDT and fill in 10% here, then your hopper will spend 100 USDT per trade. Generally, you want to have this enabled because it's possible for exchanges to handle different minimums and have different price precisions. With ignore different amounts, this problem will no longer be relevant and your hopper will ignore the price precision. This setting is simple. Just fill in how much you want your hopper to spend on each given quote currency and your hopper will do just that. Notice how it's only quote currencies. This is because we will automatically calculate the buy amount for your order's counterpart. The Selected Markets widget shows all markets that you can potentially select. If this is empty while configuring the hopper, save your config first. You will see a few different tabs. Select all and the exchanges that you have selected. Here you can select which currencies you want to trade. Note that you will have to have all funds you intend to trade present on all hoppers. Otherwise, your hopper will not process these orders. Below your tabs, you can see the pairs in question. You might notice that there are a few coins that are shown big and bold, while other coins are directly below it with a selection box. The bold currencies are your quote currencies, and the coins below that are the markets in that quote currency. In order to do exchange arbitrage, you will need to have at least one currency pair selected. And to do market arbitrage, also known as triangular arbitrage, you'll need to select 2 exchanges. Now let's go over to your exchange arbitrage settings. First up, we have the minimum profit. This is just the minimum profit that an arbitrage should make with fees included. Max open time arbitrage is much like max open time buy or max open time sell. It dictates how long an order can stay open in minutes. If the arbitrage isn't done within the allotted time frame, then your hopper will retry the order if it's still profitable. If not, then the order will be cancelled. What if your hopper finds multiple potential arbitrages, but you want to limit your spending at any given moment? That is where the max simultaneous arbitrage setting comes in. It will limit the max simultaneous arbitrages and do the orders on a first come, first served basis. Order types are exactly the same as with the regular hoppers. Choose between market or limit orders. Order book matching is a fairly new addition to the platform. It checks the order books and makes sure that your orders can be filled in the same order layer. Fill or kill is another recent addition. It checks the order books and will only do the order if it can be filled in a single order layer. Next up are order layers. Order layers are tricky, but basically, all the volume for a certain price is an order layer. The highest bid and lowest ask are the first order layer, and then the second layer is a bit more expensive, and so on. So if your order needs to be filled in the first order layer, that means that your order will only be filled for the best price. With fill or kill enabled, your entire order needs to be filled at that specific price. Market arbitrage is exactly the same as exchange arbitrage settings-wise. There is minimum profit, max open time arbitrage, max simultaneous arbitrages, order types, order book matching, and fill or kill. The only difference is the order sequence. To understand why order sequence is important, it's vital to know how triangular arbitrage works. Triangular arbitrage is called triangular because it involves a triangle of trades. For example, Bitcoin to ETH. Here you buy ETH. This is trade 1. ETH to Litecoin. Here you buy Litecoin with ETH, and this is trade 2. Litecoin to Bitcoin. Here you buy Bitcoin with Litecoin, and this is trade 3. Once these 3 trades are completed, you have done a triangular arbitrage. This is only possible because markets aren't perfect, and you have a bot that can capitalize on these market inefficiencies. Revert and backlog. The backlog is where failed orders go to wait before being closed. Orders can fail due to a myriad of things. The main cause of failure is that the order is being attempted, but it becomes no longer profitable halfway through the order. If this happens, the hopper will fail the order and send it to the backlog until it can profitably get rid of it. The automatic merge backlog automatically merges similar backlog orders, so you can get rid of the big order in one fell swoop. The move failed to backlog setting is similarly self-explanatory and causes the failed orders to move to the backlog. This is the core setting you want to have enabled if you wish to use the backlog. Revert cancelled orders. This setting alters the backlog in a pretty unique way. Normally, an order will go through the backlog, and from there, it will wait until it becomes profitable again and complete the order. With revert cancelled orders, your hopper will actively try to revert the order upon failing. So, say you were arbitraging Bitcoin to ETH, and the order fails there. Your hopper will actively sell ETH back into Bitcoin to effectively nullify the transaction. The only loss you will be making is the fee and a tiny bit of price change. Beyond that, there are the always present order type and take profit settings. If you enable the take profit, your hopper will actively try to clear out the backlog with profits. If you really hate selling at a loss, which, come on, I can imagine that, you can enable only revert and retry with profit. This makes it so that your hopper will only ever revert or retry if the order is still profitable. And if it's not profitable, then the order will simply wait to be sold. Woohoo, we made it! To recap, in this video, you learned how to configure your arbitrage bot and learned the difference between market and exchange arbitrage. Now that you know how to configure an arbitrage bot, it's time to create one of your very own.